Hey everyone. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for being here and joining us today on something that I know we're all thrilled to get a chance to explain a little bit more and talk about the college basketball crown. It's going to be the newest edition of postseason college hoops to the landscape of something that I will say this, we've been talking about this quite a bit. It's near and dear to my heart. My name is Sarah Kustak. I am a college basketball analyst for Fox Sports, but I had played at DePaul. I know how important postseason hoops is to the collegiate landscape. And so this is going to be a tournament that will take place in the spring. The inaugural tournament will have 16 teams. It will be from the Big Ten, the Big East, the Big 12, and a few at-large participants as well, and will be taking place in the great Las Vegas, and will be airing on FOX and FS1. And I'm joined by some of the stakeholders in the college basketball crown here with me today. First of all, a very special guest and someone that I go way back. I call a friend and I hold in the highest regard, the Big 12 Commissioner, Brett Yormark. We have Fox Sports Executive Vice President, Jordan Bazant, and AEG COO of Global Partnerships, Nick Baker. So for all of you, of course, thank you for being here. When you started to, and I want to hear from all of you on this, when you started coming up with this concept of a new postseason basketball tournament, Jordan, I'll start with you. Where did this vision come from, and how do you feel like the idea started to really stimulate?
Well, let's start off with this first. Walk-up music with Brett Yormark. I was expecting a little bit different, right? Like,
what would have been the song?
His brand, I'm not sure, but maybe.
I'm not sure. But it could have been a little more contemporary. I don't know, a little bit more modern. Even though I'm on brand today with the suit.
You are a conference of culture, though.
I am a conference of culture.
You are the conference of culture.
I don't know. We'll figure that out. But next time I'll make sure I curate it.
Yeah. So I think, when I joined Fox 3 years ago, we were talking about how the landscape of college sports really was mirroring the landscape of media. And it's a really dynamic time. And we started talking about how there is a lot of disruption out there. And typically disruption comes with a negativity. So what we really wanted to do is, how could we create positive disruption? And what do we mean by that? Positive disruption is where all the stakeholders are impacted in a positive way through those changes that are implemented. So one of the things that we started looking at is college sports has evolved, and all different sports, not just college football, the Olympic sports, et cetera. The one thing that really hadn't evolved was men's college basketball, and specifically the postseason. And unfortunately or fortunately, in this day and age in college sports, if you're not proactive, you're regressing. Anybody that's reactive is losing. So we talked about how could we positively disrupt the postseason. And what I mean by that is, how can we really be a positive influence and lead into the NCAA men's and women's tournament? So that's where this came about, and started having some conversations with our great partners at AEG about how can we do that. And for Fox, it was really important for us in our college basketball strategy. We have this unbelievable momentum going all the way through until right at the moment that college basketball fans are the most excited about college basketball, and we went dark. So for us to have premium content at a time that the fans are the most excited, that was what was exciting for us.
Yeah, for us, Jordan came to us with this idea, and at AEG, so much of what we do is built around, the physical real estate that we own and putting content into that real estate. And the idea, I think before we even, had our entrees at our dinner, we were in because we saw the vision of a positive disruption. And, having Las Vegas and T-Mobile Arena and Grand Garden Arena be a host for these games, that city seems perfect for this time, this time in college athletics. That destination, the timing sequence of when this tournament is taking place is perfect from our perspective. And then from a brand perspective, we have had so many amazing conversations because this is additive. This is a new opportunity, a new IP for big organizations to get embedded into college athletics in a meaningful way.
Brett, what about for you? Why was it important?
For us, there was the impetus really starting. The initial impetus was Fox now is part of the Big 12 basketball family starting next year. So next year we kick off a 6-year new TV deal with ESPN and Fox. So this adds continuity to what they're going to do in the regular season, going into the postseason. Beyond that, wherever there's an opportunity to elevate and amplify our student athletes, to give them a great experience, we're all in. And based on what Fox and AEG have put together, a premium event at the right time of year where basketball has heightened awareness, we are all in, and so are our coaches. So we're excited about it. It gives us another chance to hopefully win a championship, because that's the business we're in. And we're really excited about it.
Yeah, in Las Vegas being the location, and Nick, I want to ask you this. It's such a wonderful, I spent a lot of time there, and NBA Summer League you see the WNBA teams, you see the NHL team, of course, now the Las Vegas Raiders, but just the love and the passion and enthusiasm you see in that environment in the Las Vegas area. But for you, why did you identify that being a place that was the right location?
So we got to AEG and MGM partnered on T-Mobile Arena in 2016. So we got there a little early. Now with so much activity in professional sports and events that are taking place there. It was an ideal setting because the destination brings to life live events, and college basketball there during that time is already peak. The opportunity now that you can physically be there during the week and watch your team play, or you can travel as a fan of a certain university and plan for that, gives us I think a leg up in what we're trying to do. As Brett was mentioning, I think this is additive for a lot of big universities who aren't going to make the NCAA tournament and maybe have chosen in the past not to play in the postseason for various budget reasons, et cetera. One of the things we're proud about is the professionalism of our event. We're going to pay for the teams to travel to Las Vegas. We're going to pay for their stay in the hotel, and we're going to afford the universities an opportunity to be on Fox nationally in an economic manner that's positive for the university.
Yeah, in Las Vegas, not a real tough sell, but we've heard each of you say the right time in the calendar. Jordan, why it's going to take place in the stretch between Elite Eight to the Final Four? Why is that a ideal time for a circumstance in a tournament like this?
Yeah, I think you've heard a couple times from both of our partners additive, right? And we don't want to detract from everything, we want to elevate. And that's one of the things that as we talked about, once again, being a positive disruptor. How do you elevate college basketball, but how do you elevate all of our stakeholders, right, including our student athletes? So there's a couple of reasons. Number one, we don't want to cannibalize or compete with the NCAA men's and women's tournaments. So we've avoided the majority, specifically their crown jewels, the semifinals and the finals. So we really think that we're going to be a lead-in. We're going to get the fans even more excited for college basketball, watching these great brands play, and then they'll get to watch people become champions on the NCAA tournament. That's number one. Number two, I think one of the stakeholders that it's been a common theme about how to support our student athletes. They've just finished a very rigorous, long season. And for our tournament, some of these teams are going to be greatly disappointed that Sunday when they don't hear their names called. So we want to provide an opportunity for them to play. With regards to that, there's no sense of rushing them from both a mental health, from an academic, or for wellness. We're going to give them about a week and a half where they can kind of recuperate and catch up, because this will be coming off a conference tournament. So it's really important for us to remember they still are student athletes, and they've just come through a very long season. I think, lastly, it's about the fans, right? That's really the fans have become the forgotten stakeholder in all of this, right? People talk about the conferences, the teams, the players, the media partners, but the fans have become forgotten. And so what this allows for is it allows fans to have at least a week or 2 weeks to make their plans, to be able to arrange their travel, arrange their flights on JSX, et cetera, however they're going to do it, right? And get to Las Vegas and actually make it a destination, because that's one of the reasons why we picked Las Vegas.
Yeah, and nothing like, you talk about the student athletes, and I was in those shoes. The Big East, as I had mentioned, being what I participated in, but the Big 12, widely known as the best conference in college basketball, and got it even stronger. This is going to be the first year ever, Brett, that you will have 16 teams competing in college basketball. So now entering your third year as the Big 12 commissioner, how do you feel like the conference in particular with college basketball got even stronger and will be stronger heading into this season?
great question. You know, when we looked at recent realignment, we were looking to get better across the ecosystem, football, basketball, men's and women's, as well as Olympic sports. And we were able to do that in particular in basketball. You know, when you think of a brand like Arizona, that's additive to a Baylor and Kansas.
Careful, Nick went to Arizona State, so I don't know
Well,
if he may,
I'm going to get to ASU. Then you think about the up-and-coming brands that came in, like ASU, like Utah, like Colorado. We got stronger. So we're really excited about what's in store for us this coming season. 16 strong.
Yeah.
You know, all roads go to Kansas City, which is our conference championship. And I think right now in the preseason top 25, we've got 6 in the top 15. So it should be a very competitive season for us.
Yeah, absolutely. We're all excited to see it. And of course, excited to watch the play, the performance on the court. But both Nick and Jordan, take me into the marketing, the sponsorship perspective of all of this. How do you feel like the college basketball crown stands out as a commercial product for your respective brands?
Yeah, it was one of the things that really jumped out to AEG was an opportunity, again, to use the word additive. In our portfolio, we don't have a college athletics offering. And as you saw the transformation in this country, we wanted to be a part of it and offer positive solutions to that, and our portfolio lends to that. So I can tell you personally, it's been wonderful to go out to the marketplace and find brands who want to engage in college athletics, and do it kind of in a new way, build it, right? So Brett, I can't say enough about what it means to have the Big 12 and the Big East a part of this tournament, right? That the Big 10, that lends so much power to, this is big, this is something that's pretty special, this is high-end college basketball that's going to take place at a professional setting. So one of the most instrumental deals that we did was the first deal we did with Jeff Lester of Vivid Seats. They're taking all of the ticketing inventory for the next 5 years. So you talk about the risk that organization is taking, the belief that they know fans will travel to come to Las Vegas and to enjoy the live basketball experience of these top-notch college basketball programs. And then I'm happy to announce today my friend David Drembinski is somewhere in the crowd. Here he is over here with JSX. We're announcing later today our official airline partner of College Basketball Crown will be JSX. We will fly all of the 16 teams in a very safe, secure, and luxurious way from their universities to Las Vegas and back, and that was an instrumental part of building our event, right? Our hotel partner will be announced shortly. We have a founding partner in Ghost Energy Drink. So the response has been wonderful from brands who want to engage in an impactful and meaningful way.
Jordan, what about for you? Where do you see this fitting in with your brand and just as a commercial product?
I mean, I think if you look at the different pillars we have in all our different sports, right? College sports is very important.
Yeah.
We have incredible partners with the Big 12 and the Big East and the Big 10, and we're continuing to grow that. And as I talked about, we didn't have a straight through line from September to the end of the school year. And this really allows us to kind of finish strong until we go into some of the Olympic championships. But more importantly, I think it's the evolution of media and content and IP. And the real opportunity is how do we integrate all of our stakeholders into it? It's not just about renting anything anymore, because we want to figure out ways that our partners can integrate with the student athlete, with the conferences, with the venues, with the media partners, with the member institutions, the fans, engage all that. So that's what's really exciting about. You've seen us do it a couple of times now. We've done it with the UFL in our partnership with The Rock. We're doing it with college basketball. We're going to do it in a couple other areas. But I think it's really exciting about how we can integrate some of these brands throughout our portfolio.
Integrating brands, and Jordan, you had mentioned it earlier, the fans. The fans are the heart of what college basketball is and what, in many ways, we care about most. So in the experience that the live audience will have, both at the games and watching whatever ways that they're watching, how are you, and Nick, I'll start with you, how are you ensuring that the College Basketball Crown does help ensure that it's going to be a memorable experience for both those in the arena and in Las Vegas watching, but also those watching on Fox?
Yeah, well, again, I go back to Las Vegas being the perfect market for that, right? So you've got an opportunity to host, certain clients at various events that are taking place on the Strip, right? So you've got an unbelievable amount of content activity. We own 2 music clubs in Las Vegas, so we anticipate having a value proposition for folks to watch hoops during the day and then watch a music performance that evening. Our hotel partners are going to be instrumental in setting, various cuisine activities that might take place. We're going to have a hospitality component behind one of the hoops that's very with the ages in terms of more of a social, component to watching hoops versus being in a structured seat for a duration of time. Much more social, much more Las Vegas-like is our appetite. We'll do a fan fest outside of T-Mobile Arena on Saturday and Sunday, which, if you do the calendar, can be quite a big weekend of hoops, right? You've got our 2 semifinal games, then you go into the 2 semifinal games of the Final Four. The next day, that Sunday, will be the championship for our tournament and the women's national championship. So quite a Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, no doubt. We're getting Brett ready for the heat of Las Vegas. These
lamps,
lights,
but it's good.
You're used to lights on you. Brett, a little bit different perspective that the Big 12 and you as the commissioner have on it. What about for you? What do you focus on for that type of experience?
Well, first of all, it gets back to the student athletes. It's going to be a premium experience, which I'm thrilled about. Partnering with Fox over the years, they make everything feel big, which is critically important. We're in the business of elevating and amplifying everything we do at the conference. So when there's an opportunity to be on a big stage and to storytell, not just for the conference, but for our student athletes, we're all in on it. And there's no one better than Fox when it comes to storytelling and giving our student athletes that platform to elevate and amplify who they are and where the conference is going. So it made all the sense in the world for us.
Sarah,
Jordan, you're running the show.
First of all, I think I've never seen anyone make Brett nervous before.
No, not just heat lamps. Heat lamps.
So
Getting you ready for Vegas. Vegas heat.
Yes.
I mean, for us, we're going to treat it like all our other 10 poles. We have the Indy 500, we have the Daytona 500, we have the World Series, we have the Super Bowl this year, we have the All-Star Game. We're going to treat it just like one of our 10 poles. And we're going to, not just from a traditional linear production, from our social and digital support, but also we're going to be announcing that we're going to be showing the whole tournament on COSM, which we're really excited about. We're partnering with COSM on a variety of different issues, the NFL and baseball, et cetera. But COSM is now also going to be one of our official partners of the Crown and showing it both in Dallas and Los Angeles. So we're treating it like a 10-pole of our portfolio, which we're really excited about.
Nick, take us 5 years from now. Where do you see this fitting into the ecosystem of college basketball postseason play?
I look back and AEG is about 25 years old, and our owner made a big bet on live sports. And so much has happened in that time period in our economy, so much has happened in technology, but still the aspect of traveling with friends and family and being a fanatic fan about a particular team or player, we're going to continue to bet on that. So I don't know the exact environment, but we will, AEG will be involved in putting on first-class events that has content that attracts fans in a way that is meaningful, that then provides a platform for brands to, expose their value proposition to a large group of people. And this is a perfect example of that, right? You've got a great partner in Fox who has the broadcast exposure to bring this to millions of people on television. We've got the opportunity from a physical perspective to put on a first-class event inside a facility that we own and operate, and we'll have great basketball. We'll have great basketball that is additive with big-time schools, big-time players. So I think 5 years from now, this tournament will be something that players want to play in, coaches want to coach in, fans want to be at, and you want to win that championship. You'll be proud to win that championship, and I think it'll be a professional experience.
What's the vision, Brett, from your perspective, understanding just the evolution?
Well, listen, I'm a big basketball guy, so whenever you can just create more value for the ecosystem, I think that's a positive thing. And if I look out 5 years from now, I see a tournament that's going to be destinational. One that student athletes are going to want to be a part of. We're working with world-class companies in a world-class market on a world-class platform. So I see nothing but good and things that are very, very positive moving forward. And again, it does get back to the student athlete for me. So if we can provide them a world-class experience, a chance to do something that's different, win a championship, be a part of a moment that's special, it's incumbent upon me and the other commissioners to deliver that.
I love it. I love it. We have a few minutes left here, and so just for all three of you, the hopeful nature of this truly being game-changing in the landscape of college basketball, the college basketball crown. What do you want to add and wrap up with in any additional things that we did not cover?
I just think it's reinforcing the positive disruption, right? If you look at each of the stakeholders in college basketball, there's a positive to it. For the fans, it gives them a better opportunity, a better experience. For our student athletes, it gives them a much better experience exposure-wise, not just from a media standpoint, but also for if they do want to participate in the next phase of their career. Scouts now will be able to come to them. I mean, as little as that, that's a big deal to our student athlete. In some of the existing postseason tournaments, it's very hard for them to be seen because they're playing in very remote places on very short notice. So scouts have told us that they're very excited about that they can come to one location, see 16 teams play over 5 days. That's a really exciting part. For our administrations, it's really exciting for them because they want to provide these opportunities for their student athlete. But there are some restraints, including cost. And so by us burdening the cost, it allows some of these schools that may not have chosen to participate. And it's also a replacement opportunity. So the teams that are playing in our event now are opening up opportunities in other events for teams that may not have been invited. So it's really about, once again, it goes back to elevation and additive. And we're really excited. To me, even if it's not transformational from a grand scale, it's still transformational in different people's lives. And so as long as we're moving forward, it's good for college basketball.
Yeah, it's an impactful partnership. I think about all of the great things that AEG is able to do. It usually includes partners. So in this case, it's Fox, it's the Big 12, it's the brands who have seen the vision like JSX and Ghost and Vivid to be there from the ground floor. And I can't help but think about some of our music festivals that we have created 15, 20 years ago. Going to the desert to watch 3 days of music festivals seemed, kind of out there, right? And now Stagecoach and Coachella have become what they are, right? And I think we're going to build an ecosystem within Las Vegas where you go there for college hoops, right? There's a big time, whether you're watching it on television or you're physically at T-Mobile Arena watching college basketball crown. I think we're building a destination and a first-class event that's going to be impactful.
Any final thoughts?
And, for me, it's, one of the things we talk about amongst the A4 commissioners is access to championships and how critically that is and how important that is to student athletes. This is just another example of it. I'll also speak to the market of Las Vegas. For us, we don't have a footprint there yet. We went there for Media Day last summer for football. It's a destination market for us. It's the sports and entertainment capital of the world, a market where, for us to be successful, we have to be in. And this is a great opportunity to bring some of our best brands to Vegas and really showcase Big 12 basketball at the highest level. So from a market standpoint, it's critically important that we're there. And AEG and Fox have afforded us that opportunity.
And Sarah, in closing, the thing that's important for us is that we're doing this with people that we like and trust, right? So Mr. Anschutz and Todd Goldstein and Nick and their teams have really been great. Obviously, our partner commissioners, Brett has been one of our biggest champions, and Tony Petiti and Val Ackerman have been incredible. And the other conferences are also participating. It's just they're not able to do it from a corporate standpoint. One conference has committed to be an affiliate partner, and that's the WCC and Stu Jackson. We'd like to thank him as well. So there's some great opportunities, but it's really done as a group, and we're really proud of who our partners are in this situation.
Well, I'm thrilled. I know college basketball fans will be thrilled. We appreciate all of you so much for taking some time listening, and we're going to put Nick in charge of the walk-off. Now that you have so many music ties, the walk-off music next time.
What are we walking off to today, Nick?
And, I'd have to go with a little Kendrick Lamar if we could get it, but I know that's off the cuff. I don't know. Whatever the house chooses.
You are from LA. You are LA
right.
based. We hear it. Well, thank you all.
Thank you.
That's going to be it for us. Thanks, everyone.